So today I'm really excited to basically explain how my photo shoot went at the end of last year, uh, the whole story behind that, and what tips I would have if you're going to be doing a photo shoot this coming year, what you should know ahead of time, some tips to make sure that your day goes smoother than some of mine, and things that to do to make it a lot better for you. Um, so I actually had two photo shoots at the end of last year. So I'm actually in Budapest. I held off for doing a photo shoot for a while because I thought it was going to be very expensive. However, when I did the research, and it could be just because I'm here in Budapest, it was definitely more affordable than I thought it was going to be. Even with hair and makeup, it was definitely a great investment in my business that it was comfortable to make. I knew I needed to do a photo shoot, and I was excited to look into it, and especially doing it in Budapest. It's so beautiful here that I wanted to do an outdoor shoot, and then I wanted to do an indoor shoot. So basically how I did that was I researched photographers on Instagram. So Instagram is really great to find people, and I would search for like photographer Budapest or hashtag all that, and a lot would come up. So if you're going to be doing it for yourself in your city, you might have more luck with Google as well as Instagram too for your radius. So your city photographer, or even I was looking up brand photography, which over here in Europe, it's not as common as it is over when I was looking it up in America. So brand photography would also be really good if you're doing more like lifestyle, you at your desk, or you're working at home on the couch, mug, all that good stuff. But if you're doing more, you want to, go different vibe and everything, you could look up different photographers in that style that you want to do, like black and white, or you want to go even bolder, crazier, something like that too. But yeah, Instagram is really great. Once I was on Instagram, I made a list of photographers I'd love to contact. Some of them had websites, some of them didn't. So I was just, looking at their Instagram. And then I would reach out to them. Some got back to me, some didn't. So finally I chose two lovely women to do an outdoor and indoor shoot. So that was really exciting. So we've booked a day. We've figured out the location for the outdoor one, which was up in Buda Castle. So you don't see the castle behind me because I wanted it to be more neutral, obviously, not having castles for the background. But there's some really pretty, bricks and some arches and things like nearby. So that was a great location. And the other one was an indoor. So if you're wanting to shoot indoor and you're like, my house, my apartment, or, it doesn't really match the vibe that I want, you can look up like rental locations, which is a great idea. So you could look up to rent a studio where you could go in. So if you're just want like, plain background, studios are great for that too. But if you also want like a lifestyle scene, kitchens, bedrooms, desks, office, there should be locations where you can rent out, and they already have the whole area staged for you. They have furniture, they have sometimes even lights and everything. So you just have to come in, bring any props that you have, and you're good to go. So that was really great for me because I wanted a certain look for the indoor shoot, and this apartment that we have here wasn't exactly what I wanted. So I looked up different locations. In Budapest, we were limited to about, I don't know, probably around 3 or 4 only. So I picked one that I really liked out of the 4, or maybe even like 3. So it wasn't that many options here, but it was really pretty, the room and everything. So that worked out really well. And I just told my photographer, like, this is where I'd love to go. And then she met me there the day of. So that was really nice. So once you have your photographer, your location, the next is to like plan your outfits and bring any props and do any research for poses. So that's what I was doing next. So for about like a week or two, I was like going downtown to Budapest to shop at all these locations because when I came to Hungary, I just had one backpack with me. So most of my clothes were because normally I have like a sales calls during the week, but I don't deal with clients like one-on-one. So I didn't need that many, nice outfits or anything. Most of them are going to be my outfits I brought were for, exploring the city on the weekends and everything like that. So I had to go out and buy some a little bit nicer shirts and everything. So I went to downtown Budapest a little bit because we don't have a bigger mall nearby. So I went to a lot of different stores, and they have some really great like secondhand shops here. So that was always good to save money, and it was still great quality stuff. So at least I thought so. for the photo shoot, it worked out, So you want to make sure that the clothes that you bring, they work for the photo shoot. You have poses, or not poses, but clothes that aren't going to be like super contrasting with your brand if that's not what you want. So for your website and for your social media, if you want to portray a certain look, certain design, just make sure your clothes are going to fit into that. If you're all about soft pastel colors, to have a vibrant red or orange shirt or even blue or green is not going to be the best to go in with that brand. So keeping that in mind. So that's also very important. So I also bought some props, so like some pens and a little notebook and things like that. So that was good. That was easy to find, at least. So once you've done that, you've researched it. You also want to make sure you book out, if you're a female, maybe even a male too, but hair and makeup. So you need to have one of those if you're not going to do it yourself. And luckily, the photographer might know someone. So definitely the photographer I worked with, she recommended someone, although I used two. So I had 2 photo shoots with 2 different makeup people. And just make sure you know how you're going to get from hair and makeup to the location or to the studio if you're not doing it at the same place. Ideally, it would be great to have the makeup artist, the hair artist right there on the studio location with you beforehand. However, I didn't do that because it was a time thing where they couldn't do it, and as well, I didn't. Never mind. It's a lot to go into logistically, but I didn't do that. So I will say it's easier if you have a car to go from your hair and makeup appointment to your photo shoot. Make sure it's not too far apart. I had to take public transportation because we're in Europe and we didn't have a car here, and you don't want to be downtown driving all that anyway. So that was the first one. Wasn't that bad a distance. It was probably about like a 20-minute bus ride to get from the hair to Buda Castle, but my other one was a little bit further. It was probably about like an hour to get from that location to the studio, and it was a rainy day. So luckily she like pinned up my curls so they wouldn't like break, and I was just I had my umbrella to make sure, but so if that's the case, a car would have been a lot better to drive, but c'est la vie. It still turned out fine. It wasn't too bad, so Q-tips to touch up anything, so that was okay. Yeah, and then once you're on location, just make sure you're keeping, a straight back. It was very important to be like a straight back to make sure you're in your chin and smiling and all that good stuff. So that was, it was definitely an interesting thing to be able to, you feel like you're like way too weird a posture, but it looks okay in the end, mostly. But I would say definitely if you're going to be doing a photo shoot, hindsight, I would definitely have is someone to come with you. So like a friend or family member who could come with you for the photo shoot, just to keep track of like what poses you're doing to make sure that you're getting the ones that you wanted. So make a list ahead of time. Like I want to do a few on a couch. I want to do a few standing up. I want to make sure I have, me working on my desk, or if you have a friend who could be even like the client. So if you have a client, you want to make a shot like you're working together. That would be great. But just to keep someone like on track, like, okay, I did this. This is what I need. I had to do it myself in my head, so I did it pretty well, I think, but it would have been a lot easier if someone's like doing it for you on that day, especially because you're like, you only have an hour or you only have like 2 hours and you want to make sure you do what you can in that time. And then definitely make sure you know what your hair and makeup look you want to do ahead of time as well too. I had some pictures that I showed. For like 80%, they turned out exactly what I wanted, but it was a little different. The first one, the hair wasn't exactly what I wanted. And the second one, the eyes, wasn't exactly what I wanted, but that's my fault for not showing her exactly what I wanted. And I still think it looked fine. It was just, a little bit different than what I wanted. But I would say for you, just make sure, ahead of time that she's 100% certain with the look that you want. So that would be my tips for that. But yeah, overall, it was great. Just make sure you get enough photos back where you can use them. You're not stuck with just like 3. Hopefully you have a lot more to choose from to use in different aspects of your websites, via marketing materials like PDFs, ebooks, even like for social media graphics, you have enough for that, or whatever you're going to use it for. You have enough photos and variety, or else you can get other ones. And I will say that, I don't know if I've been saying I will say a lot, but it sounds like it. I will say that one of my other clients, she has done photo shoots, like proper ones, but she also went with a friend to a studio, and her friend was taking the photos with the iPhone. she had great photos, okay? So I'm saying is that yes, you can do a photo shoot with a professional photographer, but if you're not there yet, you could even try out with your camera and see how it looks, because nowadays cameras are so great that you could actually probably turn into a great photo shoot. And there's some stuff in Photoshop that we could do and tweak it, maybe lighten up or something if you don't think the lighting was perfect. There's a lot of great stuff we can do nowadays. So if you feel that would be a better way for you to dip your toes in, do a little mini photo shoot with someone, definitely go for it, because great photos are really important for your website and for your brand as well. So I would say definitely, if that's what you're thinking about, definitely try it out and see what it's like. So if you have any questions or you have your own photo shoot stories, I'd love to hear it. Just pop it in the comments below or send me a DM. So, all right, thanks. Bye.